Hey man, alright, so I'm gonna be going over the vital stuff you should know when starting out in the game and the fastest ways to progress without going to the depths if you're too afraid to go there, and how to escape them if you're already in them. I'm gonna be putting timestamps as well as links in the description if you wanna see everything that I'm gonna mention in this video, as well as cards in the top right corner for videos you might need to fill in the gaps. If you have any questions after this video, you can let me know in the comments down below and I'll be answering them whenever I can. Before we start, please drop a sub, as I would really appreciate reaching our goal to get 1k subs. Thank you for all the support, and let's dive in. Build making is the first thing you should be taking into consideration before starting to do anything in the game. If you want a good build, you got to prepare one. You can also look up on YouTube if you don't want to mess around with making a build just yet. But if you are ready, this site has all the tools you need, from talents, monsters, weapons you may want to pick. Now, you usually have to aim to get at least one advanced talent, but it's optional, and have a good mix of rare and common talents depending on what they offer you. You will need to take talents that give you health, such as Bullet Iron Spirit or Fishman, but be careful, some cards lock you out from getting others. For example, Fishman will lock you out of getting Condition Runner, which is an advanced talent. Not a bad thing whatsoever. Talents being locked out by other talents happens in a few others as well, which are listed in the wiki fandom page. I'll link it down below. This site will be vital for getting your knowledge for the game. Whenever you have something you may find in the game and you don't know about, search it on the wiki. If you really can't find that something though, ask me on Discord. I can be answering you there too from time to time. Another thing to know is that there is some deep shrines you will find at some point in the game. One of those is called the Shrine of Order. This is important to make your builds a whole lot better, since it allows you to invest in an attribute to get high requirement talents such as Audacity, for example. Then it will let you evenly balance your investment points, as long as you have 1 point in the attribute you want to invest later on, as an indicator for the shrine to share the points there too. Once you have a build ready, you can go ahead and choose what attunement you want to pick. Although when you first pick, the rest will be locked for the next time you wipe unless you go unlock them one by one in their trainer respectively. Video in the top right corner. Your race will provide you with 2 points each in 2 different attributes. You will be able to put 13 points more in addition. Now, boons and flaws for a start, I would recommend going Maverick and Scrapper, since they help a lot with making your build better with aces and getting more EXP. Aces is a power that allows you to burn talents and mantras to never see them again, or freeze them in order to keep for the next hands and power-ups. Best flaws are probably Vegetarian and Hemophilia, so I would recommend those for a start. I would tell you to get simple, but progressing without flaw is gonna take you a lot more time, so I suggest taking the other two again. You will unlock more origins as time goes with different ways in the game. Getting 15 player kills and going to a specific event will get you Voidwalker, doing the Trial of One dungeon will get you the Lone Warrior, and Debound by unbounding Willpower, which means doing a quest to surpass 75 in an attribute stat. You will see all of these later on. In the topic of unbounding attributes, when you reach 75 in a stat, you will need to uncap it with a different quest for each of the attributes in order to be able to get them to 100, with heavy, medium, and light classes having the same one, as well as the elements with each other. Echoes are points you get when getting achievements after wiping a character. The more stuff you have done in a single character, not slot, the more you can invest in these buffs for every single of your characters going forward. So in this part, I'm gonna tell you how to block, parry, and dodge. It's a really necessary combo of mechanics that not even high elo players don't know how this works because of immense skill issue, but I'm sure you will be able to surpass them all in skill once you get used to it. Alright, so with the M1s you do normal hits. Every 3 hits you're gonna land a flourish. With the R button you do your critical, and this critical will change per class, light, medium, and heavy, since there is a lot of subclasses to those 3. For example, in light weapons you can choose the dagger, the rapier, guns, or even bare fists. All of those have different M1 animations and criticals. Some weapons even have their own unique criticals on their own that no other weapon has. You can also feint your M1s by holding or clicking right click just before doing an M1. Now you can press Q to do a normal dash, but when pressing Q when someone tries to hit you, you'll dodge. Simple, right? When holding down F, you will block. But be careful, don't hold it down too long, because as you can see, your posture bar is getting higher and higher, and when it reaches max, you're gonna get block broken, and you give a chance to your opponent to do more combos on you. When you try to time it, by pressing in the right moment, you will parry. Parrying is the most, if not the most important thing you should learn to do in the game. It's super necessary for both PvP and PvE and will help you improve your skills in the game. There's one last mechanic I need to talk about, and that is venting. Venting helps you prevent the opponent from doing combos on you, so you should keep your tempo bar high by doing a lot of M1s. Now, when you start off, you may want to start either in Etria or Vigils. I recommend starting from Etria though, as will be the place I'll be talking about. Vigils doesn't have as much stuff as this place. When you're in Etria, here's the routine you should do when spawning in. Talk to this guy and ask him if he can spare you some cash. You'll get 25 notes. Talk to this guy in order to get a discount on all materials that you may want to buy from the blacksmith by saying you want to him out, then get the center of town, and talk to this person in order to get a ring that you may want to sell or wear it. Up to you. A few extra stuff you need to buy is a flint and a lumber axe. You may not have notes for this in the start, so you're gonna either have to beg for others for some notes or come back later to get some stuff to sell and then buy these. If you're able to, at least buy a flint since you'll need this soon. Last thing you should do is buy all the training gear you may need in order to progress your attributes that you want for your build. Here in the Antiquarian you can buy the dumbbell for training strength, the training vest and boulder which are both for training fortitude, the ankle weights for agility, and prayer beads for willpower. For intelligence and charisma you'll need to go back at the books place next to the spawn in order to get the math textbook and encyclopedia for intelligence, how to make friends for charisma, and forgot to mention you can buy a weapon manual to train your class stat if you run out. Last thing, if you're choosing to go more than one element, you're going to need to head to behind the person you got the ring from and get the element training gear for any other element you may have chosen. Now that you're all set, I'll show you how to go from Erisia from both Etris and Vigils in case we spawn there. And here from Vigils. I will admit, in this part of the video I did not have the sanity to go back and re-edit a whole segment just to add these, so I will put them here, please forgive me. You still might be confused on what all these bars mean, so I'll give you a good explanation to them. The first bar is your posture. As you already probably noticed, it indicates how much you can hold block before getting block broken and stunned afterwards. The big red bar indicates your health. This bar can be tainted if you die once, meaning you have one more chance before going to the depths unless you power up. When you're at max level, the only way to get 2 lives is by going to the depths and getting out. While in the depths, this bar is colored blue. The white bar below is your armor. This can be crafted by getting schematics from chests and turning them in the blacksmith at any town. The small green bar is only shown if you get the talent Exoskeleton, which requires 40 fortitude. It indicates your natural armor. This is a talent that's a must for builds and I highly recommend you go for this. Below that are 4 circles that show you cooldowns. The first one is your dash cooldown when pressing Q, the second one is your F key when holding or parrying. Whiffing a parry will give you a 2-second cooldown as a punishment. The third one is feigning an M1, and the fourth one is your potion consumption cooldown. When you reach the end of the game, you will have a 5th circle there indicating your resonance when you obtain it, but that's for later on in your journey. The light green bar below indicates your ether. It's your mana bar basically and shows how much you have to cast mantras and abilities. Last bar is your tempo. When out of combat, this bar is empty. This bar fills up to max when you get in combat and slowly drains. You need to hit opponents with M1s or mantras if you have the elemental rebound talent, which requires 60 points in any element, in order to regain tempo back. There's also 3 other bars in the bottom left of your screen. The first bar is your blood. It can drop when taking a lot of hits or getting hit from players which have a lot of blood loss related talents or passives. Once your blood bar drops to 0, all your bars will start depleting your health, your HP, hunger and thirst, and once they're all down to 0, you will die after 10 seconds of being knocked out, and you will be in constant combat tag. You can replenish blood by sitting at a campfire, though it will greatly start draining your thirst and hunger. Your two other bars indicate thirst and hunger. When below 2 bars of thirst, you won't be able to heal above 9% HP, and when you have below 1 bar of thirst, your vision will start getting blurry, and you will start moving slower. When you have 2 bars of hunger, you won't be able to heal above 90% HP, and when you have 0 hunger, your blood will slowly deplete. If you try to swim while starving, you will start drowning and eventually die if not carried by an ally. Having a bar of thirst and hunger together will cap you at 80% health until refilled again. Also, thirst and hunger will deplete more when sitting at a campfire. There's wells you can drink water too, and maybe fill up a canteen as well. You can eat food, just don't eat completos and brown cups without cooking them in a campfire. There's many forms of equipment, and there's a limit to how much you can equip and what types there are to do so. There's head equipment, body, legs, ears, back or neck equipment, and up to 4 rings you can equip at once. The best pieces of equipment come with health, so you should probably equip gear that grants the most. Physical armor is also equally as good as HP, with elemental coming in second. Later in the game you should aim for helmets with more than 20 HP, torso with at least 25 or 30 HP, legs with more than 20, ears with 2 HP, moonlit, 13 HP scarves or charms with physical armor and high health for back/neck equipment, and 7 HP for all of your rings. Just a thing to note for later on. There's a lot of things that depend on rolling these stats, also known as peeps. I will put a link down below if you want to see and learn more about them in the wiki page. Oaths are a vital part of your build and grant you different passives and mantras as well as slots for your mantras. I have an oath tier list in the top right corner if you're interested, but you should find overall what suits you the most. For tanky builds you may choose to go Star Kindred or Arc Warder, speedy builds or PvE you might want Just Striker or BLINDSEER. Can't really say without having a build to look into. You can check the wiki page with the link below to see what you think looks most fun and what requirements fit for your build. For a start, I would recommend fighting the easiest mob in the game, the Mudskipper. After you learn how to beat some Mudskippers well, there's another mob that can be a challenge, and that is the bandit leaders. They are the ones with the white suits. If they start attacking you, your main focus should be that. The other 2 bandits on the side will die after 4 to 7 hits. They're basically health packs for when you get low. If you beat this too, congrats, you can now go to the bandit castle, where there's only bandit leaders, but try to take on them one by one as it can get quite overwhelming. Now, you may encounter a couple other mob events too, such as the assassins, and maybe even a Mudskipper event with explosive Mudskippers. Be wary of those. There's only one monster mob that can spawn in Lower Erisia, and that is the Megalodon, also known as Sarko. These guys have an attack pattern that over time you will learn, 2 swipes and then 1 kick, or 1 swipe and then a kick. I'm sure you will notice. You can practice fighting them in the cave that they spawn in the Viper's Jaw. This is the main source of experience for you as a beginner freshie from powers 1 to 11. You'll spend a lot of your time here, and if you have a flint from earlier, use it to light up a campfire in order to attack the Sarko and go heal when you get low. I will note you a few things from here. You will have a combat tag from big mobs that is always 3 minutes unless you kill them. Smaller mobs and humanoid NPCs will give you 20 seconds of combat tag, and when other players hit you, you get 60 seconds of combat tag, unless they are allies, in which case you will only get 15 seconds from them. You will also have to deal with the bounty hunters, also known as voidwalkers. These guys want to kill you since they get a big chest by doing so. You need to be prepared and wary of those people. They wear black uniforms and I'll show them on screen too. Good luck fighting these people. After you reach this point in your progression and ready to move on, you will need to head to Upper Erisia, which introduces a few new mobs. The pteropods, which can be lethal when you don't know how to fight them, the deep hull, which I recommend to avoid spawning it by going in its feathers, and the golems, which are the main focus of this topic. They spawn in the Burning Stone Gardens. Once you're here, try your best to fight the golems one by one, as fighting them 2 or more together can be extremely lethal. You can farm here from powers 11 to 17 until you hit a block of EXP. Now, you will need to go to the next Luminant to progress further, so I recommend going back and taking your boat, since we'll go for a little traveling. Unfortunate, but you have reached this point where you died twice without getting a power-up. You're now in the depths, and you're limited with in-game time to get out as your sanity gets lower and lower by the minute. First of all, you should look for these huge walls and keep following them until you find a gate. If you happen to find the one that's flat, you should see to your left on the top of the buildings if there's some barrels in order to climb upward to get out. If the barrels there are not enough for you, you can try swapping servers until there is enough to actually get up there. You'll need to go to the middle of the cathedral and make your way down without breaking your legs. Now for those that found the slope gate, going straight forward in the gate, you will see another one, which is sometimes closed, so you may want to hope servers to go in one that has many hours on it. Once you're in, you can head to the elevator. Here, depending on your level and how many times you've drowned, you will fight a monster. From levels 1 to 4, there is no mob to fight. From levels 4 to 6, you will fight the Mudskipper Knight. And actually from here on the trials, it can be a little randomized if you have drowns. It's RNG no matter how many drowns you have since the new update. And you can even get the Enforcer at power 6 if you're unlucky. So I suggest for someone experienced to get you out if you can't do it. But you can give it a shot, but you may wipe. I'm gonna put a link to all the mobs that are in trial in the description. If you hopefully are out of the depths, you will spawn back to your origin's spawn location. Whether it's at Etris or Isle of Vigils, you can rewind back the video to see how to go back. However, if you died and are now in the Fragments of Self, you will have to restart. You can go at this campfire here to unequip your gear and pass it down here. And don't worry, by taking the false memory option, you will be able to unequip what you have currently equipped, so you can pass down the weapon of your choice too. You can pass down up to 2 items unless you upgrade it from your echoes later on to get more capacity. Passing down something valuable such as a legendary weapon or an enchanted piece of gear will come with a cost of echoes, so you better farm some of them later if you want to keep these rare items. Video on it here by the way. Now I will take you from here to the Starswept Valley where you should farm threshers. Although with different attack patterns, you will need to get these down too. I would say these mobs are intermediate level. These are their attack patterns to prepare in advance. 3 bites, 1, 2, 3. 2 swipes, 1, 2. Delayed tail swipe, try to time this if you can, but it's advisable you try dodging instead. And yeah, that's all for the small boys. Just try to get a good distance with them because they'll keep coming up on your face if you get too far away. There's some other mobs too you will encounter through your time in Starswept Valley. Be wary of the Stone Knights. Since you may find these guys tough for now, try to run while dodging its wind attack and ground eruption. You should probably try heading to the Widow, avoiding most events for now until you get used to these few that you know. Oh yeah, I should also mention that there is Alpha Sharkos here that will teleport behind you at times to do a bite attack. Try to dodge it as soon as you can. The rest of the attacks are the same. Now you should follow where I'm going. This is the next and probably last place you should farm until you're power 20. The Widow Cave. I will show you how to cheese the Widow in order to kill it. This mob gives from the most, if not the most XP from an overworld mob, so you may want to hop service and keep killing it. You start by hitting it. When you get low, you have to get through this little place right here and place a campfire around here so you don't get attacked by the Widow and get it stuck in the corner. When you're ready to go back in, go forward and get in unstuck. Fight it and go do the same thing over and over. Once you kill it, you will get a big chest from the Widow, which could possibly have enchants in it. You could also go to the Lightkeeper Temple and find more Threshers if you're good at them. There's also a King Thresher, which has a Body Slam attack, as well as a Purple Breath, which you can both dodge. The rest is the same. There's always some chests in these 3 rooms, so you can get all that loot. There's also one last location, the Deep Thresher Nest, which is located at the end of the Lightkeeper Temple. It has an unleashed King Thresher and 2 small Threshers, so if you're not ready to fight them, avoid doing so, and go kill Widows until you're maxed out. This should be it for all the basics you need to know, but I will take your comments if you have anything to point out, and I will add it in one top pinned comment of mine containing all extra information you should know about the game. Again, in my Discord you can ask me too, there's no issue, just might not be on 24/7, especially at the time you may decide to watch this video. Thank you all so much for the support, and please help me reach my goal of 1k, I appreciate you all sticking around, and peace.